So last hour, we had State Representative Cedric Glover on, Kiel, and I started the conversation by saying, understand, we're talking about now the legislation that Representative Glover introduced yesterday to the House Appropriations Committee, which would mandate financial parity
for the safety net hospitals in the state,
charity hospitals in the state of Louisiana, and it made it through committee by one vote. I think it was like 9-8.
You bet.
And now goes to the House floor for debate and a vote. But the point is this. Erin,
it was some interesting debate.
Erin was listening and watching sort of the House Appropriations Committee video yesterday morning.
Oh, and
I'm sorry, earlier this morning from yesterday.
My head's about to explode.
And it made her crazy, and we'll get to that.
But
hold on. When we started with Cedric, I said to Cedric, I need you to do two things in this conversation. He said, what's that? I said, I need you to intersperse the facts of yesterday's committee meeting with talking Erin off the ledge, because so many legislators said yesterday basically have got her, she needs to be talking off the ledge.
Yeah.
And Cedric said, good.
He wants me on the ledge.
Welcome to the ledge. He said,
Stay there.
This is a point I have been trying to make. He said this was the major, he said the what he sees as unfair funding for University Health Hospital and the medical school compared to the other safety net hospitals in Louisiana. Cedric says this was the prime motivating factor for him getting back into politics and running for the state rep position that he won.
You bet.
Now, what are we talking about?
Here's where I go crazy.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Where you want to start?
Cedric gets in the big chair in front of the committee, and he's testifying why this bill's important to him. Then one member of the committee, State Rep Tony Bacala from Pineville, which happens to be, in the Alexandria area.
North of I-10. Let's remember that. Think of that as the 38th parallel. Think of that as the Maginot Line, Hadrian's Wall.
Right. He sits on the committee, and he gave details of the disparity.
According to documents from LDH, they're showing that they're being reimbursed 156.3% of the actual costs incurred, whereas if you look at University Health in Shreveport, they're getting reimbursed 79.6% of actual cost incurred.
Did you hear those numbers?
Did you hear them? 156, right?
100. New Orleans gets 156. 156% of reimbursement costs.
And this is comparing a medical school to a medical school.
Shreveport gets 79%.
Yeah.
Now, here's where Erin's ears turn red and steam blows out. This is the Jeff Reynolds guy.
DHH Undersecretary. He's supposed to know it all.
Louisiana Department of Human Services Undersecretary. Listen to this logic.
Take a deep breath before I play this, because this is going to make you crazy.
This is awesomely awful.
He tried to explain why New Orleans gets more money than University Health.
In New Orleans, they have the sickest clients. I've got some charts here that I'd be glad to share with the committee that show that for every client, New Orleans spends about $1.60, and Shreveport spends about $1.20. So there is some built-in cost differences.
No. That's
they're sicker in New Orleans, so spend more money on them.
Basically, his explanation is...
Can somebody explain that?
No, it's insane. It's absurd.
It is absurd.
It's foolish. What he should be saying is, New Orleans gets more money because we give New Orleans more money. It's nothing more complicated than that. New Orleans gets more money because we give New Orleans more money. Shreveport gets less money because we give Shreveport less money. That's it in a nutshell.
Let me try to get into Mr. Reynolds' brain.
No,
Let me try, because I want to try to make sense of it.
Styrofoam in there.
Let's say I'm in New Orleans and I go to the hospital because, things have just gotten out of control. I have a heart attack or whatever. Well, he's saying in New Orleans...
The heart attacks are worse.
The heart attacks are worse, or you have other problems coming with the heart attack, or you waited longer than we wait here to go to the hospital.
Stupid. Stop it.
Is that what he's trying to say?
You're just going to make yourself crazy. Let us move on.
And then the other big debate in the committee was from these kind of guys.
Take a breath. This is Mark Abraham. This is Mark Abraham, Representative Mark Abraham, Republican, from Lake Charles.
Yep.
And as Cedric's bill makes its way from committee to the floor of the House,
think of the money for funding for medical care as a pie, okay?
Look at it this way, okay? This is the kind of thinking
Oh, yeah.
that anybody who thinks Shreveport should get parity funding.
These guys want us to get the crust,
Well, here's the deal.
and they get the whipped cream.
Why would they take from their own hospitals to give to us? The majority of legislators, the majority of the population is south of I-10.
Yeah.
If you think that they are going to take the essence, the spirit of fairness has nothing to do with this. As you will hear him say, we get more money than you. Why would we give up some of our money to give it to you?
Yeah.
Just because that's fair. There, and you say, well, what about fairness? And I said in the 6 o'clock hour, whoever runs against this Mark Abraham guy down the line for his state representative position,
If he were to vote for Cedric's bill, they could say, you cut funding for our hospital.
why would you run against this guy saying, I'm for less money for my constituents in, say, theoretically, Lake Charles or New Orleans or Baton Rouge?
Yep.
So this is the kind of mindset that has to be overcome for Cedric's bill, parity for Shreveport's University Health Hospital and Medical School. This is the kind of mindset, the kind of thinking that has to be overcome. Mark Abraham from Lake Charles.
So that finite UPL pool, okay, could be detrimental to the other hospitals, not Shreveport in New Orleans. That's my issue that I have with this.
That is a possibility, yes, sir.
For that reason, I mean, I can't support it because of that reason. I can't jeopardize losing dollars at the other safety net hospitals.
It just comes down, pardon me, it comes down to the screw you factor.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Can't help you.
I'm not taking away.
Here's where Cedric's point, and people are not getting this point. People in our state need to realize we are one of the lucky states. We have 2 medical schools. The people across Louisiana need to realize that the medical school in Shreveport has value for our entire state. And it needs to be funded just like the medical school in New Orleans.
They, guys like Abraham and others south of I-10, will never take away from their own pie to share with you.
But there are tons of people from Lake Charles and Opelousas and Lafayette who come here to send their kids to our medical school.
Got to go. 10 seconds. 1 to 10 chance of Cedric's bill passing.
4.
2.